One of my favorite gaming pastimes that has become more popular over time is base building. The best games make you feel like an architect without limits, and that's why I love them. The lasting appeal of base building in gaming lies in its sense of ownership and accomplishment. Ultimately, games that add base building as a core mechanic rather than a superficial addition tend to offer the best experiences. Assassin's Creed Shadows introduces the Hideout, a customizable base system that has sandbox base building. Players can create their own home bases with a high degree of freedom using tools that are easy to use but still offer depth. There is more freedom to design this base than any other base in the series. The Hideout is set in a peaceful valley and lets players gather resources to construct things like buildings, pavilions, and decorations. Players can unlock and place Japanese-themed items, adjusting and rotating them on a grid. Each building has its own unique purpose, and you can decide exactly where each building is, making the Hideout feel like home. No Man's Sky implemented a base building system over time, going from nothing to personal bases to making your own town. Once the beacon update was added, players could become the mayor of their settlements. Trying to build your base just anywhere is not a good idea because some locations are dangerous and don't offer enough resources to keep things going smoothly. Players use modular building pieces to create all kinds of structures, and they can even hire workers to help out. The important parts of base building include power generators, machines that collect resources, storage units, and teleporters for fast travel. The best part is that developers keep adding more with each update, so while other games stay stale, games like No Man's Sky improve over time. Valheim's base building system is unique because it includes physics that acts a lot like Lego. You can dig into the ground and build a realistic support system, but if you want to make multi-level structures, you have to plan carefully. The system is easy to use and flexible, allowing for unique designs with different materials you unlock as you progress. Bases are important because they act as central hubs for survival. They provide places to sleep, cook, and craft, but also give combat bonuses. Placing outposts in smart locations is especially important in dangerous areas. Additional features like chimneys and defenses protect against frequent enemy attacks, even though there are small problems such as wood being damaged by water or pieces not snapping together correctly. Valheim has a much more detailed building system than it gets credit for. Palworld has a base building system focused on the Pal box, which controls Pals for doing work and upgrading the base. Pals can automatically handle jobs like collecting resources, making items, and cooking food, which gives players feeling of progress as they unlock new technology. Bases can keep running even when players are not actively managing them, encouraging creative and complicated designs and sparking discussions among players. Some glitches can damage or destroy structures, and these problems can make building frustrating and less fun, causing some players to stick with simpler designs. However, the intricacy of having creatures that basically work for you and are designed to have specific strengths outside of fighting is innovative. With players having to survive in a prehistoric world overrun by dinosaurs, it is no surprise Ark Survival Evolved has some important base building mechanics that are important to its overall gameplay. Using materials gathered throughout the land, players will need to craft specific components of a home before placing one down. For instance, players will need to find enough material to create floors, doors, and walls. Players must be wary of their structure's pillar or foundation being destroyed, but the ultimate goal will be to upgrade their shack as they play Ark. And sure, one of the best base building games out there since it gives players complete freedom to build. The base is the player's safe haven, a shelter where they can seek refuge from enemies and plan their next moves. players need to first claim an area. By placing a stone altar, they can then build a variety of basic structures like walls, floors, and roofs to create enclosed spaces. Like other survival RPGs, players can gather resources and add crafting stations and workbenches to their base. Enshrouded's base building system is more flexible and encourages creativity and experimentation. It's an intuitive, versatile, and aesthetically pleasing base building game worth playing. Combining the survival genre with base building is something that has paid off time and time again. What makes Rust so unique is that all of this is augmented by the multiplayer, which can either turn players into the kings of the map or pathetic servants who must acquiesce to the demands of more powerful players to seek shelter in their bases. It is one of the most unique multiplayer games around and does a great job of letting players immerse themselves in a dog-eat-dog world where death awaits them at every corner. Either building a base or finding one to reside in is important if players want to survive as long as possible, which is important for obvious reasons. Minecraft is likely the most well-known game when it comes to making your own bases and still has a massive fan base. The game's charm comes from the true freedom it gives players, letting them build anything they can think of in a blocky, randomized world. While it is a necessity to survive in Minecraft, building bases quickly starts to be part of the fun. Bases are central spots for storing items, making tools, and growing food. Appearance matters too, with players combining different materials and adding decorative touches. Creative mode lets you build without limits, while survival mode is about collecting resources. Seems like Microsoft keeps adding more to the game, from cosmetics to new mobs, so Minecraft continues to dominate as a beloved creation game. So Dwarf Fortress is famous for its very deep and complicated base building gameplay. It works like a fantasy world simulator where surprising and unexpected stories happen naturally. Base building is the most important part of the game, as is what keeps your dwarves alive and helps them progress. Players manage a group of dwarves in a world that is randomly created each time, giving them jobs like cutting stone or farming and building huge fortresses with many levels and underground room. The game has realistic systems like geology, water physics, and temperature, which make the game more challenging. Bases basically need to be managed as they would in real life, being good places to live and filled with nice things and different kinds of food to eat. Kenshi's base building gives players total freedom, letting them build anywhere on a huge map, which completely changes the gameplay depending on the chosen location. Bases can eventually run on their own and become self-sufficient, defending themselves and making items without much player input, which some players find relaxing compared to other management games. When it comes to money, producing raw materials can lead to big profits, making regular currency less important over time. Strongholds act as safe spots where squads can recover, rest, and train. Base building combines creativity with defensive planning, letting players build detailed structures and set up kill boxes to trap enemies. Honestly, it's implemented better than many regular base building games. Terraria is a must-bruh game for anyone who loves building bases, and it's arguably the best inside collecting crafting. It is a fantastic choice for Minecraft fans who want something similar but different. The game gives players a huge amount of creative freedom, letting them build structures in any size or shape they can imagine. The biggest reasons to keep improving the base are the boss fights that keep. The crafting system in Terraria makes every part of the game better, including base building. The bases also need to be strong and built to defend, because the game has many events and enemy attacks that can happen at any time, as well as NPCs that need their own rooms. It's easily one of the best base builders on this list. RimWorld's base building system is very important to the game's story. In RimWorld, the way you build your base directly affects survival, how well things run, and how happy your colonists are. The AI storyteller creates events like raids, which connects combat to how your colony is designed and force you to think carefully about how you build. Players take control of colonists who are stuck on a planet and must decide what tasks to focus on and where to place their base. They have to think about things like soil quality, defenses, and how far away raiders might come from. Bases act as living spaces, storage areas, and places where resources are processed. You can include workshops, dining rooms, and areas for relaxation, but you also have to deal with hazards, sanity, and constant raiders. Fallout 4's settlement building was device, but for me, it's one of the best parts of the game. It fits perfectly with the game's post-apocalyptic world, giving players a reason to gather resources to improve their bases. Better bases mean better equipment, which helps you become a better survivalist. What's really cool is that you also gain experience by building, so you gain levels just by building your bases. You turn empty land into your own custom fortresses, managing important resources like food, water, and power, while also setting up defenses. The structures players build provide useful benefits, such as generating resources, upgrading gear, and training allies. Settlers can be assigned different jobs, and supply lines allow resources to be shared between settlements.